5 of the Summer of You series. This is one of my favorite modules, the focus on our strengths. So this module, I really want you to embrace the idea of becoming clear on your strengths. Sometimes our strengths come so easily to us that we don't think of them as strengths. We just do those things. They're just part of who we are. They come really easily. So if you're looking for a tool to actually discover your strengths, I recommend the Clifton Strengths assessment. I'll put a link to the assessment in the bottom of your worksheet. That is the tool that we use in our coaching, and it's a tool that really helped me discover my strengths back in 2007. I was working in a role that was going well. I mean, I was successfully raising money in the organization I was in and feeling proud about the work I was doing. But I had a new leader who was not a big fan of the work I was doing, or it didn't really feel like she was a fan of me either. And it just so happened that I went to a strengths workshop, my first introduction to the tool, and did the strengths assessment. And the strengths language was just so enlightening for me. And I've done the same assessment 3 times since then. And so my strengths come out pretty consistently: strategic, maximizer, relator, ideation. I realized in that moment, so I wasn't feeling very valued. I certainly wasn't clear on my strengths. And I took that assessment, I remember in October, did the workshop with this coach facilitator in a group environment. And it was just so life-changing for me. And at that moment, I decided, okay, I've got some good strengths. I can do something else. I'm going to start applying for work outside of where I was. And by January, I always remember that year, it's like 2009. I had like 3 opportunities in January that I had to make a decision around. But it was because I'd done that strengths assessment that I really felt empowered and felt capable. And, it was like less noise coming at me through the culture that I was in at that organization. So that's why I fell in love with Clifton Strengths at that time, and continue to use it as a really great tool with coaching clients. And I see over and over again how people underestimate their strengths. They don't recognize them as a true strength because it comes so easily. My ideation, for example, is probably, to be honest, an overused strength. So it's a strength that just comes naturally. I have so many ideas all the time. That's the only reason I can do all these videos all the time, is because of my activation, or my ideation, and then I have activator, so then I act on it. So that's a really natural strength. Coming up with new ideas, coming up with content to share comes so easily for me that I don't even think of it as a strength until it's contrasted with someone who will say to me, like, how do you do that? And I don't have it, that just feels so hard to them. So it feels so easy for me because it's a strength. So we all have these natural talents within us. And I just find it so helpful to understand what those strengths are, because what happened for me, even back in 2007, 2008, was it gave me permission. I gave myself permission to stop fixating on my weaknesses, stop going to training to try to become more detail oriented or process focused, and acknowledge the aspects of myself that are not strengths, but stop beating myself up about the things I can't do easily, and instead become really clear on what I bring, and find roles. Like, I really was intentional about finding that next job that leveraged my strengths. And then moving into entrepreneurship and coaching, I was so clear that I was going to create a business around my strengths, design my business in alignment with my strengths, so that I could leverage them, really be in my full potential that way. and to also honestly create less stress and anxiety for myself. And just, it's a constant practice. Like there's no figuring this out and getting it perfect. Last year, when I was trying to grow my business, I wasn't actually building my business in alignment with my strengths. I ended up unintentionally creating a business model that pulled me into my bottom 5 strengths in that report. I had to be more process oriented, detail oriented, and it just was so exhausting for me because that is not as easy for me. It takes more energy for me. We were making more mistakes. And so I recognized like this is just not going to work for me. Like, yes, I could do it, but it was going to burn me out. It wasn't fun. And I didn't want to feel that way in my work. So it was like reset, pivot back, and get back into alignment with my strengths, which is what this year is feeling like. And getting support. So the other part of this is like shocking newsflash here. We can't be all the things all the time and be rock stars at them. Each individual on the planet brings their uniqueness. And so what I've learned over and over again is that I need to find people and bring people in alongside me who have strengths that are different than mine, so that the business that I'm building can be complemented with people with different strengths. So using the Clifton Strengths tool as people come into the business and with my clients, it just gives that really objective, beautiful picture and language for you to describe your strengths. This is like a whole workshop in one video, but you can tell I'm a fan of strengths. We're going to drop a link to the Clifton Strengths portal. You can buy an assessment and deploy it on your own. We also do that. We do that with teams. So if you wanted to explore that, definitely reach out. But this focuses on you. The Summer of You series is about you figuring out who you are. So I want you to spend time thinking about your strengths. How can you bring them into the organization, into your personal life with more intention? How can you change the self-talk around the things that are not natural strengths? Very important step. And then really think about how can you position yourself in your professional life to be in a situation where you get to bring your strengths every day to the role that you play. That's where we're going to find joy, fulfillment, and fundamentally we'll be more successful when we are in alignment with our strengths. So that's our work to do this week. Have fun discovering your strengths. Let me know what you figure out.